Wolverines! Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Michael Eaton with Two Dudes Review, finally giving you my retro review of the classic film Red Dawn 1984. Now, I do plan on making this a regular segment, and I know that Zach will more than likely join in later on down the road, but for right now, I want to give you guys my thoughts on this classic war film from 1984 called Red Dawn. Now, this film is a classic action film starring Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, Jennifer Grey, Leah Thompson, C. Thomas Howell, just all the great stars from the 80s going from, they would go on to do Dirty Dancing or Back to the Future, Two and a Half Men, all these great classic 80s films. But this is one of, if not my favorite, up there with Back to the Future and Ghostbusters as my favorite 80s film. Now, I absolutely love this film. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. What the plot goes about is it's more like a what if scenario. Basically what happened is the Russians and Cubans invade a small town in Colorado just to basically create guerrilla warfare. And a group of rogue young people, teenagers, even though I'm pretty sure they're all in their 20s or even early 30s, consisting of Charlie Sheen, Patrick Swayze, Leah Thompson, Jennifer Grey, C. Thomas Howell, among others, all decide to come together and fight the Russians and Cubans together with guns, use sticks, trees. You get I'm pretty sure there's a crossbow or rocket launchers. It's just, how the hell did this get a PG-13 rating? Like, seriously, I'm not making this up. This was a PG-13 movie in 1984, and it's one of the most violent films I've ever seen. Up there with Rambo, Last Blood, and Hacksaw Ridge, Passion of the Christ. It is one of the most violent films I've ever seen, and I absolutely love this film. It's definitely one of my favorite war films, even though Hacksaw Ridge will always be my favorite. And I actually saw this with Abby and my mom, and Abby was just like shaking, just like, and the best part is, whenever something violent was going to go down, she would always go, that's how you know that a movie is working. And it worked really well for me, and I know this has torn a lot of people over the years, but I honestly think it's a really fantastic film, a great what-if scenario, and it's just an overall fun. I think it borders on fantasy a little bit, but overall it still grounds itself in reality during that time period of the Cold War. And it's just all around just fun. It made a lot of stars out of this film, and just the fact that Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey would later go on to work together again in Dirty Dancing is just as good, is also really wonderful. Just overall, guys, I really love this film. It's one of the best 80s films ever made. It's one of my personal favorites, and it is definitely worth your time. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Just be careful, because it does get pretty violent. Even though there's not a whole lot of blood, there is a lot of gun shooting, there's a lot of guerrilla warfare. There's just a lot of crazy stuff that you gotta keep in mind. And also, keynote, my buddy Nick actually was really happy that I was going to review this film, because it's one of his personal favorites, and he absolutely loves it. So Nick, shout out to you, buddy. I love this film just like you do. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for joining me on the first ever retro segment. There will be many more retro segments to come in the future, and if you guys have a request of a retro film that you want me or Zach to cover that you love, let us know in the comments below, and we will gladly take a look at the film that you've requested. So until then, I'm Michael Eaton of Two Dudes Review. Have a good day.